Hey guys, welcome back to another video in the series After the Declutter, What Made the Cut. So these are the products that when I did a massive declutter over a year ago, these are the products in this specific category. Today's powders that made the cut that I kept. And I used to have a drawer full, maybe two. Now I have these only. And I'm talking an IKEA drawer, not a Muji drawer. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with, I'll kind of go in order of my favorites. So I have a couple top favorite, and actually I probably have three that are tied for first place, and so I'll show you those first. So this is the Benefit Hello Flawless Powder. I have mine in I Love Me Ivory, and it just looks like that. This, I believe, is a powder foundation. It has a little brush that I've never used, and a sponge. I just always use one of my own brushes. As with any of these that come with a sponge, I've always used my own brushes. This is so beautiful, and it's foolproof. And that's such a trend that you'll see with all the products. Most of the products that I have, they're just foolproof. You can't really overdo it, especially with powder on dry skin. I have very, very dry skin, so this will set my face and also add just a tiny bit of coverage. You could definitely pack on the coverage and use this as solely as a powder foundation, but that's not how I use it. I use it just to set my face if I need to, and then it will also add, because it does have pigment to it, it will also add a little bit of coverage, just a little bit, because I just will tap a little bit on there. So I love that one. Next is the one that I'm wearing today. This is the Lorac Perfection Bake Perfecting Powder. I have mine in Fair, and it is just that. It's just like a baked. It used to be a dome. Now it's not, because I've been using it so much. But this is, again, just so beautiful. This actually reminds me of MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. It's just that baked powder formula. It's very soft, and it's just really foolproof. It doesn't look like too powdery, and I'll show you how I powder. When I say that I powder just to set my foundation and not like use it as a powder foundation, what I mean is, like, I'll take it and just kind of press it there just to set it. I'll tap off the excess, and I just sprayed my face with a setting spray with the MAC Fix Plus, actually, to add a little bit of luminosity back to my skin, because I've been wearing my makeup for a while, and I just wanted to refresh it a little bit. So that's how I do it. I just kind of tap and press. Nothing crazy. It's just a little bit of product. So I love that so much. The next powder is the Cover FX. Looks like that. The Perfect Press Powder. And I have mine in the shade Light. And to me, this is more like just like a pressed translucent powder. Although it does have a little bit of pigment to it. It doesn't go on the skin as having pigment. And this stuff you could literally cake on like a mofo, and it would look beautiful. And I've done that before. I've had messed up makeup, and I had to just powder, keep adding powder to kind of even it out. This was actually before a big event that I had to go to with my husband, and I just kept adding and adding and adding and adding, and it looked almost better as I kept adding layers. And usually my face cannot tolerate layers like that, because I have super dry skin, and I just will look caked up in a heartbeat. And this stuff is beautiful. It does not cake up or do anything nasty like that. The next powder is the MAC Pro Longwear Pressed Powder. I have mine in the shade Light Plus, and this is just a really great powder that it won't break down for a really long time. Sometimes powders can have kind of a short life on your face before they start to break up, and you need to repowder. And like I've already talked about, I have dry skin, and I don't like to have a whole lot of powder on my face, because it just can't tolerate it. It looks cakey and crepey real fast. So this is one that I know if I'm going to be out and about and gone all day, I will reach for, just because it will last a really long time. So the Pro Longwear is true. It does last a really long time on the face. And the next one I love, but it's just not the best color match for me. But I do keep it because I do like to just set my face with it, as I just showed you earlier with a brush. And if I do it like that, it's not enough pigment coverage that you can tell that it's not a great shade for me. But it is the Wonder Beauty the Wanderlust powder foundation, and mine is in the shade Fair. So it comes like this, and then you open it up, and I believe this came with a sponge. It is so smooth. It just turns a little bit pink on me if I have too much of it on there, but like I said, I love to just set my face ever so slightly with this, and it's so beautiful. It's so soft and almost creamy. It feels creamy on the skin for being a powder. So if I had to choose any of these to wear as an actual powder foundation and get all my coverage from one of these powders, this would be one of them. And then also this would be the other one. And that is the IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation, just the original one, not the Illumination. I love that one, I just don't have it. So this is that, and just, I have mine in Fair. Most of mine are in Fair if they come in Fair. So this does have quite a bit of pigment to it, and I will use this to clean up my brows with, if not on an everyday basis. This powder I like to keep around for special circumstances, and that is if I'm wearing like a bold lip, I'll take just a little brush, just like a little eyeshadow brush. It doesn't really matter. I don't really have this issue right now, but I'll just take some of this because it does have coverage. So let's say I'm wearing a dark lip and I just need to clean it up and make it look better. I'll just do it like that and lightly kind of paint around there just to clean it up. I know some people do that with concealer, but this product, it just makes it such a soft blur that you can't really, you don't have to be as precise as you would with like an actual liquid concealer, you know? And then you can also touch up your brows, or if I have too much brow highlight on, which is not even a thing, just kidding, then I can go over that. Or for those really dry flaky spots between my eyebrows, I can just clean up the eyebrows. So stuff like that is how I like to use this product. But this is a really beautiful powder foundation, and you can get full coverage out of it. Okay, moving on to this next tray. I have the MAC powder, pressed powder select sheer. Now this is in the shade NC5, and the shade, it's like white. It's like matches my shirt almost. The shade is the reason that I keep this powder, because if my foundation is too dark for me, I will take a powder like this that is lighter than my shade, lighter than my skin, which is hard to find in a powder, and I will just kind of clean up the jaw here, and in the center of my face to add a little bit of lightness back into that darker foundation. And if I need to, I'll just blend it down on my neck so everything looks the right color. And a product like this is super sheer, so it's not gonna, it just helps to balance out a darker foundation, and that's the reason that I keep this in my stash. And then the next one is the one I use the least amount, and I'm contemplating whether I should keep it or not. I do like it, but it's just not 110% a good match for me. It pulls just a tad bit pink, and it's the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Airbrush Perfecting Powder Illumination Sheer to Full Coverage. And then it says Finishing Veil. So I use this to set my face with a brush, just like I've showed you. I have mine in the shade Fair. And so with this, you do get like a sponge. I think I'll hang on to this and just make a note to use it more. It's just like a tad pink, and it's not even a cool undertone. It is more of a neutral undertone, but when I get it on my face, it's just a tad pink and a tad just too dark. But I love the formula. It's so soft and buttery, and it's a really good powder foundation. So if you can find a match, I recommend that. And last but not least is this Be The Light palette that I feel like I talk about in every single video that I do. This is by Becca. I have mine in the shade light to medium, and there's one powder in here that I use to set my face, and it doesn't really offer coverage, but it does offer a really nice kind of blurring effect. And this powder right here is the one that I'm talking about, and that one, it reminds me of the ambient lighting powders from Hourglass. So if you've tried those, I mean, get this palette. Last time I checked, it was in stock. It's on sale at Sephora for $29 only. And you get so many great products in there. You get a bronzer, a blush, 2 powders, and I talk about that, and like I said, I feel like I've talked about it in like almost every video that I've posted recently. So those are all my powders, you guys. Those are the powders that survived the declutter apocalypse. They are the survival of the fittest, and they are the champions. Let me know if you have any of the same favorites of the ones that I kept, and also let me know what your favorite powders are, and maybe I'll have to check them out, because now that I'm back on YouTube, I feel like I want to test out a whole bunch of new stuff, even though I have plenty here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for this series. We're going to be doing my whole makeup collection. You'll see everything that I kept through the massive declutters, everything that made the cut. Video by video, we'll be doing different categories. I think next I will do blush and highlights, or I might split them up or combine them. I'm not sure yet, we'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch and hang out. I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.